Our story officially picks up with Quinn, a teenager just trying to survive the typical trauma of moving to a new town with her dad Glenn. They're looking for a fresh start after Quinn's mom passed away, but their new house just happens to be right next to the charred remains of the Bacon corn syrup factory. On her very first day of school, she meets Rust, the awkward neighbor boy who seems a little too familiar with the town's shadows. It doesn't take long for Quinn to realize that Kettle Springs isn't your average sleepy suburb. The atmosphere is thick with a strange tension between the adults and the kids. The grown-ups, led by the bitter Mr. Vern, treat the teenagers like a plague, and the teenagers, led by the charismatic mayor's son Cole, treat the town like their personal playground. They spend their nights filming friendo parody videos, dressing up as the town's mascot and acting out murders for their YouTube channel. It's all fun and games, a way to blow off steam, until the line between the prank and the predator completely disappears. During a night of partying in the ruins of the old factory, a prank goes wrong, or so they think. One of the boys, Matt, stumbles out of the dark with his intestines literally spilling into his hands. The group screams, but then they burst into laughter when it's revealed to be just another friendo skit for the cameras. But later that night, as Quinn reviews the footage, her blood runs cold. In the background of their video, standing perfectly still in the shadows behind the fake clown, is a second friendo, a real one. Before she can even process the danger, the town's Founders Day festival kicks off. It's supposed to be a celebration of history, but when a fire breather's accident sets the massive friendo parade float ablaze, the celebration turns into a riot. The adults blame the kids, the sheriff arrests Quinn and her friends, and an old man in the jail cell gives them a cryptic warning: don't mess with Friendo or you'll die. He wasn't exaggerating. While the group is stuck in jail, the real Friendo pays Matt a visit at home. As Matt is mid-workout, the clown appears, pinning him under a heavy barbell, but he doesn't just let the weight crush him. He slides a jagged handsaw onto the bar and forces it down into Matt's throat. This isn't a prank anymore. This is a cleansing. Once released, the teens try to distract themselves with a barn party, but the music is quickly drowned out by screams. A girl stumbles out of the cornfield with an arrow buried in her spine. This time, there's no laughter. Then, a masked head is tossed into the middle of the dance floor. When they pull the mask off, it's Matt's severed head. The realization hits like a physical blow. Someone is systematically hunting them. Panic turns into a desperate flight through the corn as a swarm of friendos emerges from the darkness. Not just one killer, but an army of them, armed with crossbows, chainsaws, and pitchforks. Rust manages to blast one with a shotgun, and in the chaos, a shocking secret comes out. Rust and Cole were actually secret lovers. A fact that would never fly in a town as rigid as this one. They managed to escape through a sewer line just as a massive gasoline explosion rocks the barn, but the nightmare is far from over. Meanwhile, Quinn's dad Glenn is caught in his own horror movie. He's cornered in his clinic by a friendo who demands he treat a wounded brother. Glenn realizes these killers aren't monsters. They're people he knows. Using his surgical precision, he turns the tables, killing his captor and hearing a chilling command over a dropped walkie-talkie: bring the girl to the factory. Quinn, thinking she's found safety with her friend Janet at a neighbor's house, discovers the most horrifying truth of all. On a bulletin board in the living room, she finds photos of her and her friends, clippings of every misstep they've ever made. The neighbors aren't victims, they're the hunters. Suddenly, Janet turns on her, revealing that even the kids aren't all on the same side. In a desperate struggle for survival, Quinn is forced to impale her former friend with a pitchfork just to stay alive. But she doesn't get far. Quinn is abducted and wakes up in the syrup factory, surrounded by a circle of friendos. As they peel back their masks, the ultimate betrayal is revealed. It's the sheriff, it's the waitress from the diner, it's her teacher, Mr. Vern, and standing at the center is Mayor Arthur, Cole's own father. This isn't just a series of murders, it's the Great Reset. The adults have decided that the younger generation is too loud, too disrespectful, and too trashy, so they've decided to prune the family tree. The mayor shows Quinn his ultimate sacrifice, his own son, Cole, hanging by a noose from the ceiling. He blames Cole for the accidental drowning of his daughter, a tragedy he refuses to forgive. Just as the sheriff prepares to execute Quinn, her dad, Glenn, crashes his car through the factory walls like a guardian angel in a sedan. The climax is a brutal, frantic battle for the soul of the town. Quinn uses a cattle prod to take out the sheriff, while Rust arrives just in time to shoot the rope and save Cole from hanging. The mayor tries to flee, but there's no escaping the consequences of his own madness. The survivors, Quinn, Glenn, Cole, and Rust, find themselves cornered by Mr. Vern and his chainsaw. But after a night of being hunted, they decide they're done running. They floor the accelerator and turn the teacher into a permanent part of the pavement. A year later, the dust has settled, but the scars remain. Glenn is running for mayor to fix the town he almost died in, and Quinn is heading off to college. As she drives away, she finds one last Friendo music box on her seat, a chilling reminder that the old ways of thinking never truly die. But Quinn doesn't scream, she doesn't panic. She simply tosses the box out the window and keeps driving toward her future. It makes you wonder, if the people in charge of your town decided you were the problem, how far would they go to fix you? Is the gap between generations something that can be bridged? Or is it a cornfield where only one side can come out alive? Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have suspected the mayor, or did that twist catch you off guard? Thanks for watching.